Airsoft is dead. Long live the new king of shooting combat sports, Nerf! Now, I've seen the lights, I know the raw truth, and I'm going to try my best in this video to explain to you why Nerf is just a better combat sport in general than Airsoft could ever hope to be, and why I'm abandoning Airsoft forever in favour of it. So let's get one thing right off the bat to begin with. This Tokyo Marui G3, £280. This Nerf rival Apollo, £25. Done! That is the arguments over then and there. The fact that you can buy 11 of these for one of these just means it's so much better value for money. I mean, I bet you anything, even 10 guys with normal Nerf guns could take out a single guy with a G3. Maybe not even 10.
Witness me!
But of course, you don't need 10 guys with Nerf guns to beat the G3. Just one guy with the Apollo on his own will do that easily. So let's go into why. Let's start off with the ammo. Now, first of all, you can clearly see that the Nerf rival high impact rounds are just so much better than Airsoft BBs. I mean, just look at the size of that thing. That is such a high caliber round. Think of the stopping power behind that, especially when you compare it to something as piddly as a little 6mm BB. The size alone, I do wonder how big this actually is though. Now, whilst that is quite a precise finish on the BB, the fact that it's not even meeting the 6mm is actually smaller than I thought it was. That just shows how truly pathetic and piddly these things are. If we were to swap this round for the Nerf rival round, 20 mils is just so much better. I mean, 18 mils, 15 mils. Do you know, honestly, I thought they were a lot bigger in the hand than 12mm, but I mean, this is a high precision tool. There's no way that it can be wrong, so I guess that's just the raw intimidation factor of the rival rounds that's making them seem bigger in my hands than they actually are. And just to prove that big bullets mean big power, let's put these two through the chrono test. Now, the Tokyo Marui is clocking in at around about 280 FPS. Yeah, not that great to be fair. But when you put the Apollo through the test, something happened that we weren't quite expecting. The chrono wasn't getting a reading on it, and we're thinking, why is this? It's such a high precision tool. Surely it must be getting a chronograph reading on the ammo. And then we realised, oh my gosh, the dial, it only goes up to 999 feet a second. What if it's going over that? We think this is going 1,000 feet a second. That is the only way that it's not picking up a signal. It's going quicker than the chrono can read it. So clearly the ammo is superior in that regard. So sticking with the ammo though, what's wrong with these BBs? If you get a close-up of them, you'll see that they're all very smooth, very perfectly rounded, which any physicist will tell you is rubbish for aerodynamics. No, what you need is a close-up of the rival round, and when you look a bit closer, you'll see dimples all over it, a bit like a golf ball. Now, I can guarantee you, if there's one group of people that knows their stuff about whacking balls around, it's golfers. This is just such a more high-tech round. It's got so much more aerodynamic properties to it. It will generate more lift. This means more range and more accuracy. That is just plain science. You can't argue with that. So just to prove it once and for all, let's put these two head-to-head with a standard shooting test. Now, we started off with Tokyo Marui, shooting at a target about 30 metres away, and it was truly pathetic, if I'm honest. You can only hit a bucket-sized target at 30 metres away with 7 out of 10 rounds, which is just sad, frankly, especially when you compare it to how the Apollo does it. Now, as you can clearly see what is happening here, the high-impact rounds, those expertly engineered bullets, are just getting bullseyes each and every time, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is accuracy. So we know it's accurate then, but what about range? Well, due to its low power, the Tokyo Marui can only get about 40 metres, maybe 50 at a push if you angle it, but your rounds are going to go all over the place. They're nowhere near precise at that range. With the Apollo, however, let's just see how that shows how it's done.
I was right over the ear roll.
Just look at that. It's like poetry in motion. I don't think anything else needs to be said here. Now, some of you may be wondering, how does the rival Apollo achieve such insane accuracy and range? And I can tell you now, that's due entirely to the fixed hop-up unit, which Some naysayers will claim that the adjustable hop-up unit found in the Tokyo Marine G3 is better, but that just shows how naive those fools are. The fixed hop-up is better because the engineers at Nerf took the time to measure specifically how far it needs to protrude into the barrel to get the absolute most out of the product. Tokyo Marine, they just let you figure it out for yourself. And to be honest, I just think that shows the hallmarks of a company that cares about its customers and one that couldn't be bothered. Now, as another detail to show just how much care and thought went into this product, even the magazines are combat effective. What if a guy creeps up on you mid-reload? Just like that. The magazines are a weapon. They can be used during the battles. This just shows how combat effective this gun was when it was designed, and such care and details put into even little things like the mag retention meg. Just the thought involved in this is mind-boggling. But what is the final game-ending factor that makes the round so much better in the Rival Apollo? The fact is, you can pick them up and use them again. If you try to do that with the BBs in the G3, it's going to jam up the barrel, it's going to gunk up the insides, it's going to be horrible. These you can use an infinite amount of times. You basically have free ammo, always. And even if, yes, you might lose some as they tend to bounce around the house a lot just to get those ricochet kills, not because they're too bouncy or anything, and so you lose them all the time. Even if you do happen to lose them, you could just buy more. And I think overall this means that it's just such a higher value prospect than it would be over getting an airsoft gun. Now, we've been mostly talking about the ammo and not about the guns, and I think that's mainly because the gun speaks for itself. I mean, just look at the thing. One glance at this and you know it means business. But in their infinite wisdom, Nerf understood when designing this that it was too overpowered. It was just too good. If they were to just release this as it was originally intended, the market would collapse because of no competition. So they hid the best feature of it. But I found it. What it is this little button here. If you press it down, you can double prime it. You have just doubled your effective firepower and shotgun out multiple rounds. And yes, the G3 does have automatic firing, but I think we can all say that firing simultaneous rounds, no matter how quick the full auto is, it just can't compete with that.
That'll do it.
Not quite cut it enough.
As close as you can get. I mean, come on.
Now, I can hear some of you crying out already, surely this is just theoretical. I mean, clearly the Rival Apollo is better on paper than the TMG3 could ever hope to be, but what about the real world? We don't want boring facts, we want results. Well, I have just the results you're looking for, my friend.
Yeah!
And as you can clearly see by this indisputable proof, this just shows how much of a better combat sport Nerf is. Clearly it has so many advantages over airsofting. I just can't see a reason why I'd want to stay with airsofting. See, I like to be on the winning side. I want to be on the right side of history. And to refuse such a clear advantage over other players that the Nerf guns provide, I can't stay with airsoft, unfortunately, which is why I'm having to ditch it forever in favour of the Nerf guns. And with my case well and truly rested, this has been Dale of Lone Wombat Nerfing.